Good morning, guys. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, any time of the day. Thank you for allowing me to be part of it. I hope you get something out of this video. I think it's a fascinating, interesting, I'm hoping, video, and that I can put it out there as such. So, guys, I wanted to tell you about a woman named Paige Hanna. I had brought her up because Kevin Franke from 8 Passengers, Ruby Franke's husband, said that Ruby was very jealous of Paige Hanna and her husband Jodi Hanna because Ruby Franke was very close with them, and because Jodi Hildebrandt was very close with them, and Jodi Hildebrandt trusted them, and Jodi lived with them before Jodi lived with the Frankes. So the Hannas were people that were in connections. They had started connections basically with Jodi before Ruby ever came on. As a matter of fact, it was Paige Hanna that introduced Ruby Franke to Jodi Hildebrandt. Aye. Okay, so here we go. Paige Hanna put out something on her channel called Under the Rug. I'm going to link it. I highly recommend you subscribe and watch this, because what she's talking about is how Jodi Hildebrandt was able to manipulate Ruby Franke, and probably was able to manipulate everybody before Ruby Franke until she got busted. Okay, so it's a fascinating video. She just put out the first one. As a matter of fact, it's called The First. She has no monetization on it. She feels horrible because she feels like maybe she could have tried harder to make Ruby realize just how out there Jodi was, and just how dangerous Jodi was. In the meantime, this woman has 8 children. The Mormons, man, the Mormons, I think, Scientology needs to promote having children, right? Because then they wouldn't have the decline in the membership. So they need to promote that, not promote that, right? Because in the Sea Org, you're not allowed. Don't let me digress. Don't let me shift lanes here. Anyway, that would be the key, to have more and more children to populate, right? So the Mormons kind of have that idea. In the meantime, the reason why this woman, Paige Hanna, went to Jodi for counseling was because initially there were kernels in the teachings that rung true and that showed compassion and how she can assist her children by understanding what would make them feel the way they did. So an example with the connections idealization is that if you can detect where your trauma started, then you can avert it and you can recognize it so that you can avoid it for the next time. So that's all good. That's good ideas. Kind of like still the comparison with Dianetics. There were kernels that really helped people. That's what made people come back. But through this is when Paige Hanna started seeing like the crazy of Jodi Hildebrandt. So she doesn't go into details of what happened, but she will go into details of what happened. You guys have said that I'm paranoid. No, it's just this part of the job. There's a bunch of windows. There's a reason why there's a bunch of windows I got to look out. So I'm not paranoid or doing anything wrong. People know what I'm doing here. They know. They've seen me on YouTube and such, so people know. That's not the thing. It's just I have to, at least they see that I'm working still, right? Anyway, guys, I'm serious. So what I'm saying is that there were bits of kernels of truth and things that made sense to Paige Hanna that in practice and in theory and in book form looked really good, and actually things that made common sense. But after that was just, that's when the control and the craziness, for lack of a better word, started showing up in Jodi. And, Paige has been blamed for this, and she really seems genuinely heartbroken, and I really think that if people are doing that, they should stop, because why are you giving this woman a bad rap? I mean, because she got out before, she saw the dangers, and she said, no, I want nothing to do with this, so she got out. But she reached out to Ruby, her friend, and Ruby called Paige a liar. What do you do with that? And still, today, Paige says that Ruby was under the control of Jodi. So my question has always been, how sick was Ruby before Jodi came along? I think you guys have asked the same thing, and we've all come up with, see how close we are? We both came up with the terminology. We've come up with the idea that, you know, they're just as sick, that one's just as sick as the other, right? That's what we came up with. Maybe that's not true. Maybe, I mean, obviously, Jodi Hildebrandt was starting this CULT. No doubt. That's what she was starting, and that's what Connections was. And people had to put her first and make her foremost important, and had to listen and abide to all of that. And people were following her and doing these things that were so messed up and wrong. And then when she was called out on things and she actually did things wrong, I mean, if you look in her reviews, they're horrible. But yet the Mormon church kept plugging her. And she got 90%, if not more, of her patients from them. So how messed up is that? The Mormon church needs to be culpable for this too, okay? But, you know, I think that if we watch this with Paige Hanna, I'm happy to break it down, though I think she's very articulate, and there's no reason for me to break it down. I'm still going to talk about it. I think that we're going to find out maybe how things work in a way that we never really saw, like the back end or the beginning of it before, from somebody so close to it, because before this became massive, you know, it got stopped. But still, it was in the workings. And I'm hoping that we will see that through Paige Hanna's Under the Rug YouTube series on this, which I'm really excited about. So please subscribe to her channel. Show some love, because I really feel bad for this woman. I think that she wants to do right, and that she tried to do right. We're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to hear her side, which is really good. I do want to hear her side. So, guys, what do you think? Are you interested in this? I'm very interested in this. All right, guys. So, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. I got a couple more videos to put out. All right, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. I so appreciate you. Again, be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. And always, always never be Jodi Hildebrandt and or Ruby Franke. Always be you guys. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip. Thanks. Have a great day.